Welcome to the CPF Property Debt Fund Loans in Focus. This is a portfolio update for May 2026. My name is Joe Christie. I'm an Executive Director at Capital Property Funds. And joining me today for the portfolio update is Xander Ryan, one of our portfolio managers, and our other portfolio manager, Noah Morabito. Xander, I'll hand over to you to please commence the portfolio update for May 2026.
Thank you, Joe. I'm going to start with something that hasn't settled yet, but will be settling at the end of the month. This is an industrial development in Rochedale, Queensland. This is the exact same sponsor as Tingalpa, so we kind of view it as a rinse and repeat of Tingalpa. A lot of our investors were in that loan and are aware of the developer and what he did there. The DA has been submitted, so that was submitted on the 8th of May, and he's looking to build 29 industrial sheds and a cafe. We've got a first mortgage paying 10 3/4 with an LVR of 70%, and then a second mortgage or a Class B paying 17% with an 80% LVR. Joe, could you add anything to that?
Look, thank you, Xander. As you said, it's a rinse and repeat. So it's Mark Zadrilich and his team from Tingalpa. And what I really like about it is he's bringing over a lot of learnings from Tingalpa. So the product mix, there'll be overflow customers from Tingalpa that were unable to acquire stock in the Tingalpa project that'll be coming across. And the other thing we really like is that he knows the market very well, and he's very good at building to program and to budget. So it's a proven model. There's high demand for the finished product. And last time when he did his feasibility, he outperformed the feasibility. So what we mean by that is that he thinks he can build it for 2,000 a square metre, and he estimates that he will sell for 6,000 a square metre. He beat that last time. And already we've got expressions of interest that are at rates to purchase the finished stock at rates that are above his internal forecast. So I think he's going to do better than what he's actually forecast, and I'm really excited about this particular opportunity.
Perfect. And I'll just add, so this will be for settlement, and then there'll be about 3 months to get his approvals. And then once he got his all relevant approvals, he'll move into a construction facility to build them. So it's a $17.5 million settlement, and then there will be about $23 million of construction funding that'll be drawn on a cost to complete basis over the next kind of 12 months after the approvals are received. I'll then move on to another new loan that this will be settling, or will be refinanced at the end of May or early June, and that's Obanvale in New South Wales. This will be a straight land loan, so the land will be taking a first mortgage over the land, and the purpose of that will be to get their relevant approvals and then to do a 379 land subdivision, and that'll be done over 9 stages. We'll have a first mortgage and paying 10.75%, and a second mortgage or a Class B paying 19%. Noah, do you want to tell us a little bit about Obanvale?
And for our investors, Obanvale really represents essentially a new Spring Creek opportunity. Our investors would know the Spring Creek market pretty well, so it's another one of those staged developments. So this one's a little bit smaller than Spring Creek, 379 land lots. It's actually in New South Wales. It's around the Singleton area in the Hunter region. We've had conversations with both the borrower, the sponsor there, and the planners, ADW Johnson, who confirm that they're expecting their DA approvals in about 3 to 6 months' time from the loan settling. So this is one where it'll be a bigger facility for our investors, and it presents a new chance to really get acquainted with the borrower and support the project there for around 9 stages. So it could be like 3 to 4 year loan, but this first loan will just be a 12-month loan to get their approvals in place.
And just to add something there, the sponsor has indicative kind of some interest to buy, I think, 40 of the lots in stage 1 and 2. So there is demand for that product, and we're really looking forward to the sponsor getting their approvals and turning the tractor on and starting to build. I'll go over to one of the loans in the portfolio. We've just had a new video done at the Junction, so most of you will know, but it's the final stage of a 112 lot subdivision. They're building 42 townhouses, and construction is expected to be complete for the whole project coming at the end of May or very early June. They've got executed contracts above the valuation, which was very pleasing for us. We've got a first mortgage paying 10%, so there's basically no construction risk left just kind of that selling risk, and they're already having contracts executed, so that reduces the risk. So yeah, no, we're looking forward. This will be finishing around that October 2026. So if you're looking for a bit of a short-term de-risk loan, the Junction is great, and you can see the updated video of the kind of almost completed state. So we're very happy about the Junction. I'll then quickly talk about Spring Creek Stage 6. So this is, Noah mentioned it, Obanvale will be similar to Spring Creek. And Spring Creek Stage 6, they were developing 62 residential land lots. The settlements have begun. So we had our first return of capital to investors on the 7th of May, and they were returned approximately 33% of the loan. Settlements are progressively happening over this month, the month of May, and we expect by the end of May that investors in Spring Creek Stage 6 will be fully repaid and will be able to roll into maybe Stage 7 if they like the project, or we've got a number of other opportunities that they'll be able to roll into. So yeah, a first mortgage, it's no longer open, but it was paying 10% at a 61% LVR. It'll be a sad one to see it go, but we are looking forward to doing future stages. So we'll have stages 9, 10, and 11 and 12 coming out. So it'll be quite a large stage coming towards the middle of end of the year, and we're quite excited for that. Anything to add there, Joe or Noah?
No, I think it's just presents a really good opportunity, and like Xander said, if you want to stay in the Spring Creek opportunity, obviously the sponsors there has done really well to date. Yeah, look out for those new stages coming up.
I'll then move over to Paddington. So we did have a first and a second mortgage paying 10 and 16%. Many of our investors were involved in Paddington, and I'm pleased to receive, and a lot of investors, every investor received a notification, but we were fully repaid on the 7th of May in Paddington, and investors got their distribution on the 8th of May. It's sad to see it go. It was a good loan. It's been with CPF for a couple of years now. But it's kind of onto that next journey. That was just a step too large for CPF. Anything to add there, Joe?
Look, I think you've summarised well. We wish them all the best. They're taking that project to the next stage. It was just too big for us to digest, and we just wish them all the very best.
And we just want to thank current investors in that loan for their continued support. There was a few extensions. It can happen with bigger loans and refinances, but no, we're happy that everyone got repaid in full, everyone got all their interest, and we can move on to the next development of Rochedale, Obanvale, and so onward. So a great outcome for everyone, and thank you again for your support. I'll just do a bit of rapid fire through the debt book, and Joe or Noah, you can add anything after I'm finished. I'll start with Spring Creek East. So that was Spring Creek East 2025. They've got a new valuation. There was actually a bit of a zoning change. So they got a zoning approval, and that valuation's gone up to $30 million. So it was around about $12 million. So it's almost, it's had a very significant increase, and unit holders will, we did send out a communication, and they'll be receiving a further communication in the coming weeks about rolling into a new facility. We're possibly looking to merge Spring Creek East and Spring Creek Land into the one facility, so something to look out for. Markula, that will be rolling over for another 12 months. So investors in that will be receiving communication shortly about if they wanted to extend that for another 12 months or get their funds back. Bowral will be rolling into a construction period, so they've got their DA approval, and they'll be moving into a construction facility. So we're looking forward to that. Narangba, they had a big win at the start of this week. They got their development approval. So that'll be moving into construction shortly. So we're looking forward to providing an update to unit holders in Narangba quite shortly. And then Port Douglas investors, they were repaid in full. So there was a full repayment of Port Douglas. So that was a Terry McKinnon loan. He sold those blocks on to another developer. So a great outcome for Terry and all our investors. And then Noah and the CPF development management team were busy at the end of April recording some new videos. So we've got new videos on the Junction, the Foundry, Mud River, Taringa, and Brookwater, and they'll be all uploaded to our YouTube channel. So, and they'll be at in the bottom of this update. So if you were looking for an update on any of those loans, feel free to watch those videos, and you can really see the sponsors. You can see what's happening on site, and just gives a great overview of what's happening. Anything to add there, Joe or Noah?
Yeah, I just think further to the point, it's good to see Bowral and Narangba, that both of those facilities will be moving into a new construction loans, as Xander said. So for Bowral in particular, investors can expect this week a communication to come out whether they want to stay in for that. It's actually going to be a 18-month construction loan, whether they want to stay in for that period of time or alternatively look to place their money elsewhere. But that will be coming out shortly. And similar to Narangba, that one's still a bit, maybe 3 weeks away. Just before the end of May, they'll be moving into a facility similar to Bowral.
The only thing I'd add, Xander and Noah, is that these loans are all around that 10.5%. We're probably starting just to see some of the newer loans, such as Rochedale and Obanvale, probably around that 10.75 rate. So you probably refresh some of the rates as we roll over some of these opportunities as well. So there might be a bump of 25 or 50 basis points.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Joe. And then I'll just quickly move into a quick summary on the real estate credit fund. So the last quarter, so January 1st to March 31st, there was a bonus return to investors. That was just due to strong performance from the real estate credit fund. And that bonus with the initial at 9% targeted rate came to an annualized return of 10%. So above that 9%, and we're very pleased, and we think that will continue for the foreseeable quarters coming up. We've got the 2 redemption windows. So unlike the projects in the debt fund that are the redemption or your window of liquidity is based on the project completing, the credit fund has a calendar redemption window. So not on the project, but on the calendar. So the 15th of March and the 15th of September are those windows to get your funds out if you wish to. There's a 45-day notice period that needs to come with that. So just at the that needs to be written to CPF. So it's the next one will be September 15th. So if you were looking to redeem your funds, get in touch. It's kind of that set and forget fund. It's fully invested, and we've just kind of introduced a reinvesting of a distribution. So we'll be sending out an email to all unit holders that they have the option to reinvest their distributions. And if you wanted to get in contact with us before, please do, and we can send you that form now. But the credit fund, it continues to grow, and we look forward to providing great returns to investors in that fund.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for coming to the May 2026 portfolio update for the debt fund and the credit fund. We look forward to seeing you in the next month.
Thank you so much, Xander, and thank you, Noah. All the best.
Thank you, Xander. Thank you, Joe.